Starting. We are live.
Hey everybody, it is that time, and I forgot to start record.
Oh, me too.
So take two.
Here we go.
Everybody.
Hello. It's just a few more days till Thanksgiving.
Yes, and we are here on Winephabet Street, and today, Slancha, today the letter of the day is F. Okay. But before we get into that, Debbie, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Okay, so I'm Debbie Giaquindo. I'm the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. I'm a wine blogger. I'm an author. I'm a writer. What else am I? The
All
list goes on.
around special individual.
I'm a mom of two. I've got two dogs. I got a husband. I also am co-owner of Happy Bitch Wines, and I think that's about it. You know, here, introduce yourself. I'm kind of bashful, you know. It's just like, here I am, you know. This is what I do.
I'm very shy. I'm very shy. I am such the shy individual. The spotlight, no, keep it away, keep it away. But I'm Lori, and my husband Michael and I own a boutique winery in Paso Robles known as Dracaena Wines. We specialize in Cabernet Franc. We are the founders of Cab Franc Day, which is December 4th. So go grab yourself a bottle of Cab Franc. You know, and hey, if you want to order it from DracenaWines.com, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But grab yourself a bottle of Cabernet Franc. Head over to social media all day on December 4th. Follow hashtag Cab Franc Day, and Twitter chat is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by a virtual chat at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But other than that, that's what we do. We focus in on Cab Franc and making sure that people get the concept that it is more than a blending grape. But today, we are not about Cab Franc. We are about what, Deb?
Furmint.
Furmint. And we are going to hear from Elmo right now.
Jump up, get down, come dance for down now. We're moving our body to the ABC. Dance nearby, wow, dance far away, now clap your hands. To the letter of the day, clap, clap. What's the letter, clap, clap? What's the letter, clap, 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 clap? What's the letter? 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 The letter of the day is F.
All right. You know what? We just cannot have that video without me having some technical difficulty. I finally remembered to hit the unmute button, but I guess I hit it too early. I don't know.
Hey, it happens.
Elmo is shy. That's what it is.
That's true.
Shy.
That is true.
Yes. So the letter of the day is F, and it is Furmint, and it is from Hungary.
Hungary, where my grandfather's from.
There you go. There you go. So, Debbie, why don't you start us off with the general characteristics?
Okie dokie. Let's see. General characteristics. Okay, start, right? There we go. How about that in one shot?
And I just want to do a shout out. We have viewers here today. So hi, I can't exactly see who it is, but we do have the chat going. And I do actually remember to turn the chat on. So if you have any questions while we're going through this, please just type it in. Say hi, introduce yourselves. You know,
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. So go ahead. General characteristics.
Okay, so the general characteristics. Go here. So this is the grape, Tokai. And hold on. That's pretty much what the grape looks like. Ferment is a late ripening grape, which results in wines that are very strong, have very strong tannins, high acidity, and high alcohol levels. and this makes it a very versatile grape. It ripens late and has a nose of fresh fruits, often compared to ripe pear. Its significant acidity and alcohol produce characteristic or characterful wines, sometimes with a touch of tartness and minerality. And I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Having cheated and started already.
Nice. Nice.
It is big on acid. And Lori and I participate in a chat called Wine Chat, and we've had, or Wine Studio, and we've had many discussions on high acid wine. And Furmint is definitely high acid wine. It's great for the acid head in you. And also Furmint, that's a picture of the grapes with botrytis. So it's called Noble Rot, and it makes perfect for the sweet wines. Now, Tokai is made with the Furmint grape, and it tends to be sweet, and that's what it looks like when it's got botrytis, and that's how they make the Furmint, or the Tokai. And there's the picture of the Tokai.
So just as a sidebar, so if you could see, that's a big difference in color.
It is, isn't it?
Dry Furmint and the Tokai.
Yes, it is.
Well, the special.
So Furmint results in a perfectly balanced ASZU with long aging potential, dating all the way back to the 16th century, when Furmint has been the dominant grape in Tokai, and the main ingredients in Tokai ASZU, and that that's what Furmint has looks like with botrytis and in a Tokai.
Is it sad that when I read about ASZU, I thought of Zazu from The Lion King?
Oh, did you really?
I don't know. That's where my brain went.
Hey, whatever you can make the connection. So botrytis gives a characteristic golden color, caramel and dried apricot aromas, and many layers of complexity. But in the past 15 years or so, they started to do single varietal ferments, and they've happened to do it dry. So they've really, I don't want to say experimented, but they kind of like thought out of the box and said, why don't we try something different? So we have dry Furmint that comes in 3 styles. We have stainless steel, barrel aged, and new and old school. So maybe that's 4 styles. So Furmint in stainless steel. I'm just trying to look at my notes here. So Furmints aged in stainless steel are usually very crisp with greenish light hay color, which mine kind of has that light hay color.
Yeah, yours is lighter than mine.
Yeah.
Mine is more golden, but I still marked it as the lighter color.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's a challenge to tame the acidity. So sometimes it's blended with a lower acid grapes, but not everybody likes the result of steel fermented ferments. Say that 10 times fast. Steel fermented ferments. But you really need to really like acidity in your wine to enjoy them. And I personally love them, and I see them as fresh grape with alcohol. These wines are not always the most complex, but they are refreshing. Some also have grapefruit, green apple aromas. They make a nice aperitif. They can be served. Well, I'm not going to go into that because that's your deal. That's your deal. I don't want to steal your thunder. So we have dry barrel aged fermented new school. And these wines are very different in category from the steel tank that I just previously mentioned. The barrel aged, especially if there's some batonnage involved, They can really tame the acidity and add body, creaminess, and roundness to the wine. It's almost, I'm trying to think. Millbrook in the Hudson Valley makes a Tokai.
Oh.
With the Tokai grape, and they have a steel fermented and then neutral barrel fermented. So the one that doesn't have any oak is much more acidic, and the one that's just in neutral oak, it just takes away some of that little bit of that acidity. So that's just my way to explain it to you. The added body creaminess and roundness. It also adds flavor. So these wines also can be aged. They can be aged for a decade or two. And I'm not going to go into what they can be, what food. But I will tell you, I had mine with pesto tonight.
I had mine with a Cliff Bar.
We won't go into your dietary habits.
I'm not the person to do food and what. No. But it went very well with my macadamia nut Cliff Bar. It did.
Oh, I can see the macadamia nuts.
Yeah. I chose it purposely. It was a pairing, I chose it.
I know.
I could have gone with the peanut butter one, and I opted.
I don't think that would have went.
Macadamia nut. I know. See?
So I also wanted to tell you that Tokai is important to understand that there's all different terroirs within where it's grown. So each single vineyard will vary in flavors, aromas, and so it really makes for a good here's another terroir focused wine.
There you go.
So, and just our colors, and just looking at the two different wines that we have. So now we're into old school. So barrel aged fermented old school. And this is what many Tokais, they used to make Tokai at home for everyday drinking. So this wine is not always well balanced. Think of this as your garage wine. Don't shoot me yet. But, sometimes it's over oxidized. It can even have a good amount of botrytis. But it's a wine you'll remember, probably will stand out. I have not had this, or I would let you know because I will be vocal. And at its best, it's got it's an incredible wine with orange, dried apricot, and caramel aromas, with a nose and color of a dessert wine. And while it says here that it's actually very dry also. But some of these over-oxidized ferments are reminiscent of sherry. So that's old school, not to be confused with new school.
New school.
So I think think of this as old school, probably 40s, 20s, when they were making it in their basement. So I wonder if my family was making it in their basement. They had vineyards though.
They probably were making it, but maybe not that,
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen pictures of their, of the cellar.
That's awesome.
My family had vineyards in Tapacola, which I'm probably not even pronouncing it correctly, in Hungary. And my family
sounds more Italian than Hungary.
Yeah, it's TAPOC. I don't know how to spell it. But and my family there was the house that controlled the cellar, and I've seen pictures. My aunt went last year, and I was just like, wow, that's way cool. Love to do that.
That's awesome.
So anyway, so I think that's about all I have.
All
So
right.
for the characteristics,
All right.
and how do I end this?
Stop slide presentation.
Oh, I'm on the chat. That's why.
I got it. I got it.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to go to mine. All right. So there's Elmo again for the history. Okay. And so Furmint is a superior Hungarian wine grape variety indigenous to the Hungary's Tokai region. And there we go. I just liked that map. I thought that was
I
just
like that too.
like it's like a coloring book photo. Okay. So this particular cultivar has always been widespread, and it's actually the most predominant grape in the Tokai region, and with over 70% of all of the plantings in the region being Furmint. So it's, they were like, this is our jam, and this is what we're sticking with. Okay. Once known as the wine of kings, Tokai dates actually all the way back to the early 18th century. So it's been around for a while. But the UNESCO World Heritage Site in Tokai Hegyalja, Hegyalja. I don't know.
Can't help you there.
Of northeastern Hungary and southeastern Slovakia has become an established wine region hundreds of years before then. So, it got recognized much later than when it was actually established. Tokai stakes its claim as actually the best of sweet dessert wines. So when the wines, when the region started to become famous, it was definitely like the botrytis wines, where they were sweet, which in all honesty, when we chose Ferment, I was a little nervous about it because I do not like sweet wines. It's just not what I do. So I was very happy when I started to do the research to realize that there's really a big variation in dryness to sweetness of the wines. So I was very happy when I went into Gary's in Wayne, New Jersey, shout out, that they had a dry ferment, because I was going to be a little nervous about the sweet ones. But they do, that's really what they stake their claim to. And as you stated, Ferment ASZU, or ZAZU as I like it, they, that's using the botrytis, and you can see how it shrivels up. So it's the knowable rot, and that's what provides that sweetness flavor. Because, if you think about it, the grape has X amount of sugar in it, and then as the grape itself starts to shrivel, there's that sugar gets more and more concentrated. So that's what provides for that sweet wine. It is highly acidic. It is the wine is produced from actually 3 combinations. It's from Furmint, Harslevilu, and Muscat Blanc. And in 2014, to hopefully get more people to be aware of Furmint in the United States, Furmint USA was established, and they are an educational program. So they're a campaign that actually focuses in on the dry ferment. So I guess they figured, you know what, people know that it's sweet, and there's some people who stay away from it, like me, because they thought that it was so sweet. So Furmint USA is out there trying to educate people that there is a dry ferment from the Tokai region, and that it is their flagship wine. There actually is some kind of major controversy over where Furmint actually originated from. It is a white varietal that's cultivated today under a lot of names. There's a lot of synonyms for this grape. But the former Austro-Hungarian Empire, mostly in Hungary near Tokai, which is 120 miles northeast of Budapest, which is almost into Slovakia and Ukraine. But what they really, it actually is not native to Austro-Hungary. And the DNA scientists say that Furmint is actually closely related to a grape known as Gouais Blanc, which is actually found in France, because we know all grapes either come from France or Italy. I mean, no matter how you want to look at it, it all goes back to France or Italy. And it is actually one of the parents of Chardonnay. So according to the geneticist Carol Meredith, Furmint is actually either a parent or an offspring of this Gouais Blanc. But if you go to written history, the first mentions of Furmint actually is earlier than the first mention of Gouais Blanc or Gouais Blanc. So the thought is that Furmint is actually there's controversy, but since it was said first, they think that it is actually the I said that backwards, that Gouais Blanc got written earlier than Furmint. So they think that that's the parent. But Gouais Blanc is also the parent of Gamay, Riesling, and Chardonnay. So it was very busy, similar to Cab Franc being a very busy boy with Carmenere, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, you know. I guess they get around.
Who's your mama? Who's your daddy?
Right. So sources say that King Bela IV may have brought Furmint to Hungary in the 13th century. And although it's romanticized that it's a good story, it's probably not true. They know for sure that Furmint flourished around Tokai since 1571, and that it is the most prominent grape of today. But it really was, DNA evidence shows that Furmint grape, they're not really sure. There's so much tossed up about it. Like other European countries, Hungary was hit hard by phylloxera, and towards the end of the 19th century, the Hungarian wine industry had barely begun to recover from the phylloxera, which is this ugly little dude. Okay. Yeah, he's not a good guy. So they just barely recovered from phylloxera when the two world wars started, and then the Great Depression and civil strife sidetracked the development. So during the communist period, wine production was actually controlled by the state. And whenever that happens, you know, it's no good. You know, so they were much more concerned with just pumping out grape or wine, I should say, and they were much more interested in quantity versus quality. So, you know, they got hit with phylloxera, and then it's like just bam, 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 pump out wine, and the quality went down. But then after the communist era ended, it started to increase, you know, the quality. They started to focus in on the quality. So the Royal Tokai Wine Company, it was established in 1990 and has been one of the leaders of Hungary's post-communist enological renaissance. And this company was inspired and founded by Hugh Johnson, whose goal was to revive and bring back the international acclaim of the wine's once history, which was renowned in the wine region. So the wines, as they say, would make angels sing out loud in praise. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Not really sure what that means, but it's cute. And as you had mentioned, it goes, you can get a range from dry to slightly sweet to very sweet. So whatever type of wine you like, there is a Furmint for that. And I just have to, before I, oh, by the way, yes, FURMINTDAY is actually February 1st. Did you know there was a national?
I did my 5 facts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So
That's okay.
this is Social Vignerons. I saw that on his site. I was like, check that out. That's like awesome that there is a FURMINTDAY. But before I close off on history, I have to give a major shout out to, and I am going to butcher her name, and I apologize up front for it, but Virag Lastovsky contacted me on Facebook and sent me some nice little information about Ferment that I'm going to read and share, because that's just awesome. Like, I love social media.
I think it is too. I do
right?
too.
And I appreciate that. So awesome. And you know what? I'm going to have 50,000 other questions for her later on. But this is what she wrote to me in Facebook. that ferment originates from the Central Eastern Europe. If the area of Romania, Slovenia, Croatia, or Hungary, that is, it's unknown, but they think it's from that area. It is a rather resistant grape variety due to its thick skin, but is sensitive to frost and prone to botrytis, which, you know, like in some grapes, we don't want it prone to botrytis, but because Furmint does the ASZU, they're happy that it's prone to botrytis. As a dry wine, it is somewhere between a Chenin Blanc for its floral notes, a Chardonnay, somewhat neutral with good acid, and can give the terroir notes back really nicely, and Riesling because of the soils, especially the ones from some areas of Tokai where it makes up for around 60% of the region's grapes, as there is very heavily volcanic soils, she said tufa rock beds. I don't know what tufa is, so I'm going to have to look that up, where it grows the best. So that, I didn't know it was all volcanic. That's pretty awesome. So it provides beautiful minerality. Tokai has a very diverse soil. It differs from vineyard to vineyard, just like Burgundy has Chardonnay. We have the Furmint. It loves the volcanic soil the most. As a grape, it is growing like crazy. So it is a pain in the to prune. So it's a very, I guess vigorous. There's a lot of greenery. Yes, it's very vigorous. It ripens quite late, and they generally harvest around mid to the end of October. If the yields are too high per plant, they are not pruned back properly, so the acids are extremely sharp, and it makes an unbalanced wine. On the other hand, with careful work, these acids, which are actually 6 to 7 grams per liter, are often very elegant and make the wines well structured and ageable. Also, since Tokai, the botrytized sweet wines are important. Furmint forms an amazing base. It is great to add to other local varietals, which is that grape that I couldn't read before, so Hirschlevelu. And she actually wrote, good luck pronouncing that. And Muscat Lunel for aromas. It produces super juicy, botrytized berries because of its thick skin. Furmint as a dry is actually the only variety supposedly that carries the aroma of quince. Otherwise, some cloves, green apples, citrus, yellow-fleshed stone fruits. And then she goes into Furmint USA, which is trying to promote the grape in the United States. And then she apologized for the typos, which I didn't really see any. So thank you so much for that, Vera. That is awesome. That is awesome.
So much for content. That is.
Yeah. So, what wine do you have, Debbie?
I have. Let me turn this down here. PAJZOS. Pajos. Furmint. Where's my camera? There we go.
All right.
It was $11.99 at Viscount on Route 9 in Fishkill, New York. On my Facebook page, I did a Facebook Live when I went in there to get it. And I think I totally embarrassed the lady that I asked because where the Hungarian wine was. And she's like, are you filming this? I'm like, yes. And she looked at me and I explained why, you know, people need to know where they can find it. So if you want to see my whole journey into Viscount to get my Furmint, it's over on my Facebook page. But I was surprised, $11.99.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot what I paid for it. Mine, so bad. Just put it on the charge card, whatever. Mine is Patricius. Okay. Dry Furmint. And it is a 2015.
Mine is a 2015 too.
And on the back, it's interesting because it says it says wow. There's a wow meter, and the wow stands for the weight of the wine. So
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, so it's kind of
Almost
equivalent.
like the Riesling scale,
Yeah, it's like a Riesling scale, you know?
but it's on the weight of the wine.
Yeah. And it weighs in at 12% alcohol. So it's
Mine's 13.
not very acidic. And you were talking about the differences of how we can, or how they make the ferment. And this Patricius Tokaj was actually voted the most beautiful winery in Hungary in 2013. But it was actually this was in barrel, because it doesn't have the high acidity that I was expecting. It's definitely, but they say it's a lightweight because it's way down there.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's not what I was expecting it to be. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It just, I really was expecting that huge acid head, and it's not that.
I have that. Well, maybe yours was in the barrel.
Yeah, and I think it was. But a little bit about the winery. The winery was found in the Tokaj region and was established by here's another name I cannot say, Kessy. Kekessy family. And the owners are Desko Kekessy and his daughter Katinka. And
Okay.
the name Patricius is actually a word for nobleman. That's what it means. And they say it speaks of the family's origins with longstanding roots in the region. Life has come full circle as the family reestablished their life in the Tokaj region. So their maternal and paternal ancestors were actually vineyard owners, and in the 18th century. So
That's interesting.
yeah, so they were there, and then they left, and they came back. So they were actually their families were actually very well known. And the winery is reconstructed from a wine press house. I don't know what a wine press house is.
I would almost say that's probably where they press the wine.
Right, but why call it a wine press house? Like, I guess instead of a winery, it's a wine press house.
Maybe it's lost in the translation.
Yeah, could be. So it was the building was actually previously owned by Jesuits and various aristocratic families, such as, and I guess I'm supposed to know who these people are, but Wolkenstein and Falkenheim, Shishiani, I don't know families. So I'm guessing they're pretty big wigs. I don't know who they are. And the building was used as a press house, and it was actually mentioned in Tokaj, the album, in 1867. So it's a historical building.
Wow.
The
Mine's
total
corporate.
The total land holdings is only 140 hectares, and only 85% of it is in production. So, and they ripped out 30 hectares to replant. So, and this wine got a 90 points and Best Buy in Wine Enthusiast. So, it was well liked.
That's
nice. Yeah, it was well liked by them. So, what about your wine? What you got?
So my wine's kind of corporate. Pajos was established in 1991 by 12 investors, including Jean-Michel Arquot, who born in 1947, passed away in 2001, who was the director of Chateau Clinique in Pomerol, France, and La Croix du Cas in Pomerol, and Beau Soleil. So I'm butchering it. Pomerol. And something else, Jean Jean Caries in Bordeaux. So at the time of the Tokai investment, Acrut was a charismatic, communicative, and highly respected winemaker, and he was at the height of his fame and also managed the renowned Gam Audi wine merchants, which traded in Bordeaux, Grand Crus, and leading foreign wines, in addition to those mentioned wineries. So other key investors was Jean-Louis Laborde.
Okay.
He was an agricultural engineer and owner of a 600-hectare cereal farm, a successful waste treatment company, and numerous Paris properties. He was the background of life in Pajos until 1997. At the end of 1998, he bought Chateau Clinic in Pomerol from Gann Insurance, and then Mager Winery from Gann at the end of 99. And in 2000, Gann Audi managed the trade and winemaking of both companies. So Pajos and Mager are kind of sister companies.
Oh, okay.
Sister wineries. In 2000, Jean-Louis Laborde secured 100% ownership of Megyer, M-E-G-Y-E-R, along with the majority share in Pajos, and he assumed management of the companies from Gam Audi. Then he initiated the replanting of the Pajos, ensuring optimal grape production. So that's pretty much it for my corporate wine. I'm sorry, by no offense, don't take any offense on it. It's just, it's owned by more big business than the small little.
We had to get what we could get.
What? I'm sorry, what?
We had to get what we could get. It really was.
I didn't have a choice. This was it. This was what Viscount had. The Pajos Vineyard is on the southwest facing land, which is brown earth and clay strips, which mixes with andesite tuff. The ground has
thing again. I don't know what that is.
And andesite, A-N-D-E-S-I-T-E. Tough. I don't know. The ground, maybe it's something volcanic. I don't know.
I think so.
Excellent heat retaining properties, so grapes ripen beautifully and become supreme ASZU berries. There is a stream bordering to the south of the area, which provides humidity necessary for the development of botrytis oak forests close to the areas of the north. It's 87 hectare acres, of which 54 are currently producing. There are 17 hectare-acres of Harzavalou and 17 hectare-acres of, holy cow, I'm not going to pronounce this, Sargamustoli, and 22 hectare-acres of Furmint, as well as experiment plantations established by the winery in recent years. So that's pretty much it on the vineyard. It says here, my Tokai here was harvested in 2 stages in mid and late September. During winemaking, we strove to keep low alcohol and preserve fresh fruit notes, but the alcohol level is 13%.
Wow.
100% stainless steel. It was fermented in for 6 months. This has got 90% ferment, 6% Harzleview, and 4% yellow muscat. The acidity is 5 grams per liter, and the sugars are 5 grams per liter, and it has a potential aging for 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think this would age very long. Like when
to me, this is a drink now wine.
Yeah, that's what I wrote it as. I wrote it as a drink now. So, but yeah, well, no, it's kind of similar. It's kind of similar in color. My tasting, by the way, while you were talking, I kind of went on Gary's online and checked it. I paid $14.99 for this.
Okay.
But what comes to mind is when I smelled it, the first thing that came to mind, and I'll go back to, I had it in the refrigerator. I took it out and I opened it like 15 minutes after the refrigerator. And the first thing that came to me was those lemon drop candies, with that weird face dude on it. And I was like, whoa, okay, because that's not
you.
that no. And
Well,
but
when
when it warmed up, that settled. But it definitely is lemon. I get lemon and apricot is what I
okay, so when I took it out of the fridge and poured myself a glass, when I smelled it, it smelled a little like, I want to say skunky. I don't know why, but that's immediately what came to my mind. But then as it sat and warmed up a little, and this can be, you know, when you take a wine out of the fridge and you pour it right away, you know, you're like, whoa. And then as it warms up, you really start to get the flavors and it evolves. I get a lot of minerality in mine.
Yeah, as it warmed up, there was no minerality at all when it's cold. And you know, that's a good learning that's a good lesson. You know, people very often drink their wine way too cold. And you don't get to experience what the fruit has to offer when it's chilly. It's kind of the same thing, you know, like in the middle of winter and you're all bundled up, you could be all like cute and petite and you've got all this junk on you to keep you warm. Nobody knows, you know, you look like you weigh like 5,000 pounds because you have 50,000 layers on. So if you come out of the grape comes out of the refrigerator, it's got all that jacket on it and it's, you know, the fruit, what you experience isn't there. So very often people drink wine way too cold, and you know, we've got to learn to relax a bit and let it get a little warmer so that you can experience it. And I think that's a great experiment for people. You know, take a wine, put it in the refrigerator, taste it when it comes out of the refrigerator, have the patience, let it sit, taste it 15 minutes later, have the patience, taste it a half an hour later, and learn how that evolves and learn how the flavors and especially the aromas change as it gets to come into its prime. So
yeah, it does, because the coldness kind of hides it. It really hides the true flavors of the wine.
Got that Parker on. What are you gonna do? You can't see what's underneath with the Parker on. You know, but I like it. I like it better as it warmed up.
Me too. I have to say, I do too.
I like it better. It does have minerality. It does not have the high acidity that I thought it would. And I'm pretty sure
mine has the acidity.
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that it was barrel aged at some point, which makes sense. And it has more of a fuller flavor. Again, not bad, just not what I was expecting. But it's definitely apricot, and the lemon, that lemon drop has settled down a bit. There's still lemon, but there's apricot. The finish, I would say, is like a medium. Like, one of the things about Fermented is that it's supposed to have a very long finish. I would give it a medium, maybe a medium plus, because it does hit the acid right at the end, so it does.
But it just slippers. It's really strong right now.
Yeah. See, we have two different ways of aging this wine.
Yeah,
definitely.
But I get the lemon.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of minerality. Right. I get like white flowers too. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Just
but that kind of makes, it goes to whatever region they're saying it's very terroir, driven. So
terroir driven.
Where it is where it is,
I kind of like it. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
It's enough for me to try another one.
Yeah. Too bad I can't say, here, try mine.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Because I would like to try yours too.
Yeah. So,
You know,
hey, Ferment USA, if you're listening to this, let us know where we can get some more ferment because we both had kind of a difficult time getting a bottle. So,
yeah.
we would love to explore ferment more. Let us know where we can find some more.
And if you guys that are listening and you want to go and try ferment, and I would call ahead to your liquor store to find out if they actually carry it, because I called 3 stores before I found one.
Yeah, it's
Carried it.
yeah. But so on to food pairings.
On to food pairings.
All right, food pairings. Welcome, Elmo. Okay, here we go. So, it's a well-known fact that the key structural element of pairing wine with food is the naturally occurring acidity in the wine itself. So, ferment is kind of one of those, we can do a lot of stuff with it. It's kind of like sparkling wine, like sparkling wine can just go with so many different things. So the acidity of this ferment is actually rather complementary to a large portion of, choices, including white macadamia nut, cliff. Okay, so I'm saying go for that, people. Anyway, so the high acidity holds up to the saltiness in soy sauce and wasabi sauce. So sushi is an option, not happening with me, but it is an option. Pronounced oaking harmonizes well with roasted and grilled meats, and that's not happening on my plate either. But I
That will happen on my plate.
That is?
That will happen on my plate.
Okay. But I totally can get the rosemary. Like for me, a pasta dish in a rosemary sauce. I think this would go phenomenal with rosemary. And they're saying pasta in a white creamy sauce. Now that's my jam right there. Look at those pieces of garlic in that picture. Yeah.
Sure, because the cream and the acidity will break down the cream. Correct.
But I would totally throw rosemary sprigs in there because I'm thinking that's my new love. The smoky
elk steak.
What?
Elk steak.
Elk steak, right? Woo! Okay. Well, I don't know. You're Hungarian. Is that what they do? I don't know. I don't know. I do actually know people who eat elk, but whatever. So game meats, that's a biggie with it. And then here we go. This is all me. Cheese, baby. Cheese, and more cheese. So Baladi, which is kind of like a softer cheese, basket cheese, Havarti. Now I'm a big Havarti fan, and I can see that. And even the brie, and rosemary on the brie. Again, that's actually lavender on there. But I kind of think that would be pretty darn amazing if you ask me. So those are the cheeses that are recommended. And then if you go to the sweeter, if you go to the ASZU, it's, they're talking foie gras and okay. I'm
not big foie gras either.
Yeah. And then, just right there, the enlarged liver of a force-fed duck or goose. Now, I mean, not to get on a whole other ball game, but seriously, force-feeding a duck or a goose, is that really necessary?
Yeah.
But that is what is recommended. So that is the food pairings, I believe. Yes, that is the food pairings. Force-fed, that bothers me, but
yeah, I'm just not, when I was in France, there were some dinners we had with foie gras, and not a fan. Not
happening. Same thing with that caviar. Nope. Oh my God.
Oh, but you have to admit that Jordan, we were just at a wine conference in Sonoma. That Jordan caviar, I know you didn't eat it, but it was really good. That was my first experiment with caviar, and I was so impressed.
I will just say that if you want to go experience luxury at not so much a luxury price, because their prices aren't out of control, but
Hospitality. They take hospitality to another level.
Jordan excels in hospitality. The wine is exceptional, and just how they treat people. Like, you will feel like a king or a queen at Jordan. Yep. And the price, you're not paying to be king or queen, and it's amazing. So Jordan, Lisa Matson, again,
yeah,
spectacular job at the Wine Bloggers Conference. But
yes, it was amazing. I had the best time there. It was just, they take hospitality to a whole nother level.
Yes. But so back to ferment.
Yep. On to the 5 characteristics.
Yes.
Or not fun characteristics. 5 fun facts.
5 fun facts.
5 fun facts of Furmint. It is the flagship wine of Hungary. And let's see what I got for number 2. Keep calm and enjoy ferment in February. February 1st is Ferment Day. And oops, oh shoot, I pressed the wrong button there.
Way to not curse. Good job. That's not what would have come out of my mouth. So good job.
You know what? My husband would be proud of me.
We now don't have to hit explicit on the podcast.
Yeah, right. Bleep. Ferment is a cross between, how did you say that? Gouais Blanc?
I said Gouais Blanc.
I say Gouais. Gouais Blanc. And they don't know who the daddy is. Other countries it's grown in. Northern Slovenia, Northern Croatia, Slovakia, Romania, and other names that it's known by. Mosler, Moslavic, Posip, Sipon. How'd I do?
You nailed it.
So those are the 5 fun facts of Furmint.
Yay! I am not quite sure how I feel about ferment, but I definitely will explore more. Like, if I was at a wine bar and there was a ferment, I would definitely all right, let me give it a shot.
I would too.
It's
and I think the one that I have, I think I would like as sitting on my back deck in the summertime.
Oh yeah. Well, that high acidity, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can see it going with oysters that I don't eat.
All right. Well, yeah, I think that I think for somebody who hasn't had ferment, I think if you like sparkling wine, if you like a a brut, I kind of see it equivalent to that. Like a pairing wine. A pairing wine.
Yeah, I see a little bit of acidity, like a Riesling.
Oh, I'm talking about it. Yeah, I agree. Like close to Riesling. I'm thinking of like if you have a ferment and you don't know what to pair it with, like the things that go
with sparkling wine.
Yeah, the thing is the oysters. I think. I don't know.
I don't know if I can see this with venison. Maybe the oak. I can see the oak one more with the venison.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Can't tell you
definitely what friendly wine.
Don't eat ham.
It's definitely a creamy cheese friendly wine.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm a bad person to do food pairing. You should do that all the time. I'm a bad person. I don't know what any of this stuff tastes like because not like
Well, you're not getting me eating elk, so
not eating Bambi, not eating Thumper, not happening.
I mean Bambi.
If there is a cartoon character of that animal, it's not good. Foghorn leghorn. I don't even want to eat foghorn leghorn.
But no, this is I'm like I said, I like it when it's warmed up.
Yes. Yes.
The characteristics really come out to play. They're dormant when it's too cold.
Yes, I agree. Don't let it come closer to room temperature before you start.
Yes, before you drink it. And it's still, even if it's a hot summer's night, it's still enjoyable. Don't think you have to have it really, really cold.
Mm-hmm. And at 12% alcohol.
Mine's 13. I'm one up on you.
You are, yeah. This is so my label actually suggests, this is the back label, from our family's vineyards in Tokai, the world's first designated wine appellation. This is a bright and racy dry white wine filled with a mouthful of stone fruit and tropical flavors, all complemented by hints of minerality. Pair with seafood, roasted or grilled chicken, wonderful with sushi and Asian cuisine. Join our table, drink our wine, and learn more at Twitter. Oh, shout out! They're on Twitter.
Oh, there you go.
And there's a hashtag, Drink Ferment.
There you go.
We'll have to add that when we talk about this on social media.
Yeah, we'll have to, because Furmint USA didn't respond to us.
I'll just edit that.
We're trying to give them plugs all throughout Twitter, and they didn't even acknowledge us.
Yeah, well, I'll just cut that out of the podcast. They actually did, I sent them an inbox. They did respond to the inbox, but they basically just were like, yeah, let us know if we can do anything for you. Questions. So, but we will do that. I'll just cut that.
But anyway, I'm kind of liking my ferment.
Yeah.
And my corporate in the back. It doesn't
Mark.
What?
Mark, Ever Wonder Wine. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, I'm not on. You're on the chat?
I am on the chat.
I'm still on the slideshow. Hi, Mark. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, we are. So this kind of wraps it up.
Yeah, it does wrap it up.
Next month. Next month. Hold on. Let me get you the link. If you want to register for next month.
Yep. The letter of the day.
Tell everybody.
The letter of the day is G. And Elmo is going to be talking Groovy Gruner. That's
right.
Yeah.
So for next month, there's the link.
I've actually had Gruner before. There was a wine pairing weekend that we did Gruner. And the one I had was Groovy Gruner. But I picked up a different one. While I was out for Ferment, I picked up the Gruner also.
Yeah, I got Gruner at home. I have some that came with my Somm Select Wine Club, and I have some that I purchased. So I have a choice. I don't know which one. I've got a choice of like 3 Gruners for that for next month. I'll have to sit. I don't know, and I'm not going to taste them at all beforehand. I'm just going to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and
so. I actually was not going to taste my ferment until we got on camera, but I was a little afraid of what my face would be when I tasted it, because I had no clue what really to expect. So, but I like it. I mean, it's a good wine. So maybe next month, I think that's what we should do. We should not pre-party. I think we should not tailgate beforehand, and we should just taste it for the first time when we're on camera. That's what that should be a new added feature for those who come and watch, because obviously that's not going to happen on the podcast. You can't see our faces,
but our facial expressions will tell it all.
I think that should be a new added feature to Winephabet Street. This is our initial because this face doesn't lie. I can't hide a thing. So unless I'm playing poker, then I kind of kick, I can.
That's right. You like the gambling.
Yeah, I can lie the bejesus on a poker table, but yeah, no. So, putting food in when I taste the food or I drink a wine, right away whether I like it or not. So I think
Yeah, I'm the same way too.
I
Facial
think
expressions tell it all.
Yeah. We should hold off. We should not, not take a sip until we're on camera.
Okay.
Deal?
It's a deal.
All
Deal.
right. All right.
It's a deal.
Okay. All right. Well, I would like to thank everybody who joined tonight
Me
to watch
too.
us on live stream. And, don't forget, we will have this up on both of our YouTube channels later, eventually. It's Thanksgiving almost, so
Yeah.
eventually. And it will also, for those of you who listen to podcasts, we will be on our podcast. Now,
Yep.
Debbie, I am like all over on podcasts, so iTunes, please head over to iTunes and give
I
us.
am too. I'm on iTunes. I'm on a whole bunch of them too. It's
Hey,
called Uncork Your Mind.
There you go. Okay.
Yep.
Uncork Your Mind. So I am Justina Wine's podcast. Just, head over to iTunes, give us a nice little review. It's the best way to let people find us. And, we appreciate everything that you guys write. If there's something you would like to hear, if you've got a future letter for us that you would like to know about, give us a holler, give us a
Or a
shout out.
suggestion on a wine we should cover with that letter.
Right. So we've got Gruner. We actually do have H, but we're going to keep that a secret. But
Yeah.
we don't have I, do we?
No, we don't. That's going to be a challenge.
No. We do have I. I thought we were. We'll talk about that
I
later.
don't remember.
I thought we had I. Okay. But yeah, give us. If you know of an I, let us know because
Yes.
I's a little rough. So.
All right. Well, listen, everyone, have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thanksgiving's on Thursday. And you know what? This probably would go pretty well with your turkey.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll go well with your turkey. So if you see a ferment in your liquor store and want to try it with your turkey, I'd love to know what you think of it.
Yeah,
and have a wonderful holiday.
I am opening a Rias Bacius Albarino on our Thanksgiving table, and kind of fits the same kind of profile. So I think a ferment would work well.
Yes.
So have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes,
and
have a great one.
Thank you for listening. And thanks for tuning in. And my glass is empty, but still on show.
Cheers.